2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rachak Kodash, the honors, the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, to you I say Shalom, Mashallah, Shalom. All right, we're back with the second session here. As I promised, we have the same question. One was for Synchron, one was for Neuralink. It's the same thing. What type of devices does Neuralink currently have in the works? Let's get into it. So Neuralink, founded by Elon Musk, is actively developing several brain-computer interface devices, BCI devices. The company's primary focus is on creating implantable devices, right? Uh, uh, Second Corinthians, Revelation chapter 13, okay, verse 16 and 17. And maybe we'll get that later and just briefly hit it. We're not going to go really deep into it, just to read the scriptures though. As a matter of fact, let's just do it now. Let's just do it now. And bring it up. Say 2 Corinthians again. Revelation chapter 13. All right, verse 16, it says, as a matter of fact, let's get 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, to put it in a nutshell, his way of life, living, thinking, governing yourself. All right, ain't talking about no image of Cesar Borgia, man. That's nonsense. All right, because the scriptures talk about the wine of his fornication or something like that. All right, basically drunk with the wine. Okay, his wine is his ways, his policies, his everything. All right, what he wants to instill into the earth, especially into you Israelites, as a way of life and living and thinking and governing yourselves. Okay, eating all those different things, how to be. All right, accepting homosexuality and everything else. All, right? All that comes along with his ways. Okay, because he's a weird little wicked evil, people. So it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That word mark in the Hebrew is, I'm sorry, not in the Hebrew, but in the Greek. All right. As a matter of fact, well, like I said, I won't go into it too deep, but the Greek word is karagmi. Okay. Um, and ultimately it leads back to the word karax, which is how they're going to use. Which, hey, when you look at some of these devices, like the brain ones we're talking about, they have robot technology to implant them into your brain because the wires and things of that nature are so small and the job is so intricate. They need a robot to do the job. All right. So in the sense of the brain chips, that Karax is actually the robots. All right, because they do the surgeries and stuff like that. Because human hands, aren't able to do that job. Now, when it comes to the actual micro C hip, all right, that's going to be issued a different way, possibly, because all it needs to be is injected into your body. Okay. Um, but it says in their right hand or in their foreheads, and in the right hand is that the C hip that we just talked about, the actual chip itself. Okay, that gives them that full control of everybody's life that they want and they're looking for. And when it says in their foreheads, it's pretty much going into what our topic is right now. All right, which is the brain chips. All right, giving people their motor functions back, or certain things, paralysis, people with ALS, and guy can use his arm, girl can use a leg, and so on and so forth. Tapping into their motor functions and their neurological pathways, and using their technology, all right, to attach themselves to those things, and having their technology override those broken systems within their body and giving them the functions of those broken systems back. See? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the number, had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603.6. And when you look around, that 666 is everywhere, right? Different logos, all right? They always have somebody covering their eye on the picture. You look up pictures of celebrities, and tons of pictures of different celebrities with one eye covered up, all-seeing eye, even on the dollar bill, all-seeing eye, the illuminated pyramid at the top, the all-seeing eye. Having movies where people throw up the what people say is the OK sign, which is, I guess, in a sense, to give the example, the OK sign, but really what they're throwing up is when your pointer finger and your thumb touch All right, and then your middle, your ring and your pinky finger are up. All right, that closed circle of your pointer finger and your thumb, all right, indicates the circle of the letters. I mean the number 6. All right, so the thumb, the pointer finger, and the middle finger would be a 6. The thumb, the pointer finger, and the ring finger would be another 6. The thumb, the pointer finger, and the pinky finger would be a 6. So that's 3 sixes. So that's why you also will see that, in these movies where people are throwing up, like an OK sign, that sometimes do it over their eyes, or sometimes when they're talking. Right, in movies you just see them randomly doing that hand gesture. They're not just doing that to be doing it. All right, these directors are telling them to do that. All right, and it's just is it's really tapping in, to a deeper thing, okay? And it goes over people's heads, all right? But those 3 sixes go back to Esau, Edom, man. All right, it's the number of a man, all right? That man is a nation of people, but the particular ones who are the troublemakers of them all right, are those so-called wicked elites. Well, they are wicked, but the so-called elites, right? The banking families, okay? So yeah, let's get back over here. So it says, the company's primary focus is on creating implantable devices that can directly communicate with the brain to address various medical and technological applications. Neuralink's current devices and projects, the Link or N1, all right, the Link, also referred to as N1, is Neuralink's initial BCI product prototype. This device is designed to record neural activity, right? Because that's always there, right? From 1,024 electrodes across 64 flexible leads, right? Either leads or leads. I'm not exactly sure how they're using that particular word there because they're both spelled the same way. It says, and it also performs real-time neural activity detection, right? Same thing it says about the synchron. We read it to the synchron, right? It says it also performs real-time neural activity detection. So tapping into your neurological pathways, seeing is what your brain wants, all right? Your spinal cord is broken and you want your legs to move. So your brain is thinking to your legs to move, but your spinal cord is injured, so you can't move. So when you take their technology, they override whatever systems are broken, those whatever has been disconnected to make your legs not move. They override that, and then now you're able to wiggle your toes and eventually start to use your legs, and maybe you stand up. Even if you have to use like a cane or a walker, they've actually through their line signs giving you those your legs back, right? So these are the things that they're trying to accomplish or are accomplishing. Okay. It says with the data sent wirelessly to computer devices. See, oh, and other things that just a quick mention. We talk about alter ego all the time. Iris, the orb scanner. Um, there's another one that I forgot to put it on my poster, so I can't really remember it. But the magic genie, okay, when you pretty much grandma lives in California, you live in East Texas. Grandma died 3 months ago, but you're still talking to grandma on Facebook. All right, the magic genie. So and that's what I called when it first came out, and I dubbed that one as digital necromancy because it's digital, obviously, because over the computer waves, but it's also necromancy because you're communing with the dead because the computer is now pretending to be your grandmother. So in a sense, that's why it's called digital, because it's not actual necromancy like you did, like with Saul and the witch, right? You didn't actually go to somewhere and conjure up some dead person, but you're doing it digitally, right? You can't let grandma go, okay? And so you're digitally constantly conjure grandma up, calling her every day on Facebook, and asking grandma how she's doing. She been had a funeral in a casket. Her body's got no meat on it no more. It's in the grave. It's just nothing but bones. See? So that's called digital necromancy. Back into their what? Their lying signs and wonders. See? And in particular, Neuralink called one of their things they want to call it telepathy. Lying signs and wonders, right? It says the implant is surgically placed under the scalp, making it cosmetically invisible, and it connects to external devices without physical connectors. As of January 2024, Neuralink has implanted 3 N1 chips into human patients, with plans to implant 20 to 30 more by the end of 2025. And the other day, we just went into, they now supposedly have 7 people. All right, 7. They have 7 guinea pigs now. Okay, so it says blind sight. Neuralink is also developing blind sight, a vision chip designed to help individuals recover or restore vision. There you go. Right back to Second Thessalonians 2, the lying signs and wonders. Okay. Um, Blind sight aims to deliver electrical impulses. We just talked about that, right? Electrical impulses, all right? So it says directly to a volunteer's visual cortex, generating spots of light known as phosphenes. Okay, um, let's grab this real quick. Copy that. Um, nope, it's not here. Is it here? Yeah, I thought I had another one. Okay, excuse me. Okay, get out the way. Let's go. There you go. Phosphenes. See what comes up. All right. Phosphenes. Understanding the phenomena. Phosphenes are the visual perception of light in the absence of actual light entering the eye. Ah, see? It says this phenomena, that's really all we need right there. This phenomenon can manifest in various ways, such as seeing flashes, dots, or patterns of light, often described as seeing stars. Yeah, if you squeeze your eyes too tight, you know, and you'll start to see little spots, or I don't know, some you get my point. It's all happened to all of us, right? Seeing spots or stars, or such, right? So it's all happened to us, so it's not something that under or over explain. Phosphenes can be induced through different mechanisms, including mechanical, electrical, and magnetic stimulation of the visual. There you go. There's their way in right there. Magnetic stimulation of the visual system. All right. Electrical. I'm sorry, I said magnetic, but electrical I meant. All right. Electrical stimulation. Okay. Because that's what they're doing. They're firing off with your electrical signals. All right. Mechanical stimulation, such as rubbing the eyes, as I just said, they see, is a common cause where pressure on the retina triggers the perception of light. Electrical stimulation of the visual cortex, as used in some experimental brain-computer interfaces, can also produce phosphenes. Magnetic stimulation, such as with transcranial magnetic stimulation or TMS, can also induce phosphenes known as magnetophosphenes. The underlying mechanisms involve the activation of the visual system. Even without external light, pressure on the eye activates retinal cells similar to how light does. Other factors such as low blood pressure, certain medications, and neurological conditions like optic neuritis and migraines can also trigger phosphenes. In some cases, phosphenes are a symptom of an underlying condition such as retinal detachment or diabetic retinopathy. And we don't have to get into all this. You can actually punch it up for yourself if you like. I just want to get the base there, which we really got at the top. Phosphenes are the visual perception of light in the absence of actual light entering in the eye. All right. So let's go back over here. So blind sight aims to deliver electrical impulses directly to a volunteer's visual cortex, generating spots of light known as phosphenes. The FDA, the FDA, okay, let's say it again in case it went over anyone else's head. The FDA, of all places, right, granted blind sight breakthrough device designation in September 2024, which could expedite its development. Why is the FDA involved in this? Okay, hey, the answer is easy. Just find out who runs it. All right, we know who runs it. Who run it? Who run it? Okay, it goes back to Esau, man. The bankers. Robotic arm. Neuralink is also working on integrating its brain implants with external devices, such as a robotic arm. This would allow individuals with paralysis to control prosthetic limbs using their thoughts. You see, they're trying to bring the movie stuff to life, man. Okay. Oh, perfect example, because we're all familiar with the Marvel movies. The guy, the Winter Soldier, right? He lost his arm. Okay, so how you put a metal arm on an empty, on your shoulder, and you control this metal arm? This is what they could, trying to make in real life. So, say a person's lost their limb from their forearm down, right below the elbow, and their forearm down. That forearm down, you're giving the middle arm, and then, like I said here, it says this would allow individuals with paralysis to control prosthetic limbs using their thoughts. So, bringing things that are only seen in movies and sci-fi stuff like that, and bringing it to real life, man. Okay, and it's not unheard of because it's not like and people out there have these now. They don't have the exact function, But the point I'm making is they're trying to get it a more fluent, more smooth, function, with somebody, because you have the little robot arm there, all right, where people have, gotten that limb back, and you can see the robotness in the arm, right? But they're trying to make it more fluid, like to make it so you can't even tell it's well, obviously if you see it, it's a robot arm. But I'm saying the movement, all right, it moves just like a human arm. Okay, they do this even in video games. Or what's the Metal Gear Solid? Because I used to play those all the time coming up. One of the last ones that came out, Phantom Pain. Okay, where the main guy had a body double after the plane crash with which the body double didn't know that he wasn't the real boss, big boss, right? But he had a what a prosthetic arm, and he used it normal, and it moved normal. Okay, that's so so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So to read it again, Neuralink is also working on integrating its brain implants with external devices such as robotic arm. This would allow individuals with paralysis to control prosthetic limbs using their thoughts. Neuralink app. It says Neuralink is developing an app to allow users to control their iOS device. Same thing with Synchron, you see? Because Esau is going to utilize different companies. Whoever gets there first, perfect. Now, if this company has what's best and that company has something that's better, they're just going to merge the two or three or four, whoever, because they want their devices to be perfect. And that's why we mentioned that once before, dealing with the micro C hip, man. The device is not going to come until it's perfect. Okay, once it's perfect, that's when it's going to roll out, and that's all on the Heavenly Father's time, man. Neuralink is developing an app to allow users to control their iOS device, keyboard, or cursor using the activity of their brain. See, um, you can look into this if you want to. Neuralink's brain chip, how it works, and what it means. Elon Musk Neuralink targets first blind sight implant in a human by the end of 2025. I'm actually want to probably pull that up. Elon Musk Neuralink targets first. Oh, it's the same thing right there. As a matter of fact, let me light this up because I might even feel. Can I? Can I? Wait. Okay, there we go. Just light this up, and I'll just copy this for myself later. And if there's something to bring out, we'll just do another video along. If the spirit allows. Elon Musk touts new Neuralink brain chip to treat blindness. There you go. See, the eyesight, right? Giving the blind eyesight. Those are things that the Lord did, all right? Disciples were able to do, all right, through the right hand. Okay, Esau wants to do these things through the left hand, which actually attaches himself. Matter of fact, we'll close off with a couple of scriptures there. And it says, second human to receive Neuralink brain chip uses it to play Counter-Strike 2. All right, so that's probably old there. So let me go back. Actually, it wasn't there. It was here. Because we're done with that. I'll save it just in case. Let's get a couple real quick and close it on out. Isaiah 45. And actually, no, I'm looking for Isaiah 47. Bear with me as I back up. I want 47. Okay. Isaiah 47. There we go. Isaiah 47. And actually, let's get up at 9. All right. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment. In one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, because he does spells, incantations, cast magic, sorceries over, especially over you Israelites that know the truth. Okay, you don't have to be a teacher. You're a man that knows the truth. All right, he's casting spells on you. If you're a woman, all right, he knows that you listen to the prophets. All right, even if it's like one of the groups that goes off on their doctrine, the main thing is that the base thing is that they teach you that you're the Israelites. Okay, that's enough. Teaching that you're the Israelites and that they're the Edomites. All right, and the history of that. Okay, so you get the point there. So they're casting champions on you. They do it, especially all the time with the 2/3, because we mentioned that earlier. Music and stuff like that, movies, they clone Tyrone, and they can easily get to 2/3. But those of us who have been quickened, all right, what does it say in Numbers 23:23? There be no enchantments against Jacob, so they can do it all they want. But whoever the elect are, or will we be on the number? There's no enchantments against you all right? For the great abundance of thine enchantments. You see? For they have trusted in thy wickedness. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. You see? And it speaks about that in another chapter in Isaiah, right? Where they, pretty much they have the secret counsels, man. And say that none seeth me, because they do it in the darkness, right? It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. Yeah, it says that wiser than Daniel. It accomplished the diligent search. But this that the Lord gave you on the left hand side through communing with spirits, the left hand angels, right, devils and stuff like that. All right, you gotten so much of that left hand wisdom that it perverted you to a point where that you think that you're getting away with this and that you're stepping over the Lord and everything else that He has going on and what He's planned through His prophecies. It has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, which is your mind, I am, and none else beside me, which links up with Isaiah 14 as well as 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, see, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. And these things have always been in the work, and they have always done these things. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Okay? It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. There is no saving. All right. This is the Lord teaching them. All right. Through the prophet Isaiah. Because there is no saving them. There is no getting away. There is no the left hand side get you out of this jam. Okay. This is your final jam here. Okay. And you're about to get judged for all your things. Behold, they shall be as stubble in the fire shall and as stubble the fire shall burn them. Okay, first the nuclear destruction and the chariots and everything else, and then ultimately Esau Edom himself after 1,000 years. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before, because he's going to destroy Babylon the Great. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants, which are the other nations, man. They're in league. Psalm the 83rd chapter. All right, they came together with one consent. All right, we read it in the NLT, you get the word conspire. Con meaning with, spire goes back to meaning spirit or breath. One spirit, one breath. So in other words, with one mind, all in agreement, all right, to do what they did against us. All right, thus shall they be unto thee, which also this links up directly with Revelation 18th chapter. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save. There you go. So I just wanted to end it on that, and let's pull this back up for you. Okay. What type of devices does Neuralink currently have in the works? So we also read about that. We read about Synchron, read about Neuralink, and then there's other devices, man. You can, I mean, maybe it's the spirit is on me. Okay, I've got so many things going on. I might just need to start writing these things down on my notepad, because you forget. Okay, but we can go back and talk about the Magic Genie, or the other one. I forget the name of it, where they want to have people meet in their dreams, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, Esau's got all kinds of things growing up on the left hand side, man. And all these things are going to be brought to naught. So we're going to leave it at that. Lord willing, you will edify to next time. Yahshua going to say shalom.